So last time when we looked into the love life of Miss Carrie Bradshaw, we left her with a little bit of growth. She made a step forward. She finally realized that her and Big are not the right match, at least for the moment. And she was ready to step into her new life, a life with new opportunities, a life with new love life. But somehow, Carrie just cannot escape her past. And even though Big was the one she said bye-bye to, or he kind of made her say bye-bye to,
I kind of like living alone again.
Another man from the past reappeared. And this time Carrie is gonna do everything to make sure they get back together. You know how we do it here? We narrate, we analyze, we often judge, and we always pretend that we know better and would do better. Hopefully. Steve is opening a bar, and his silent partner is no other but Aiden Shaw? Miranda and Carrie both get an invitation, and Miranda wants to go. And because she needs some company, she's trying to convince Carrie that she should go also. There's no way she's gonna actually bump into Aiden. And the fact that he sent her the invitation, I mean, that has to mean something, right? Carrie, though, she's not falling for it. This is clearly a parade to their failed relationships. This is all to show how good they are doing without the two of them. And she doesn't even understand why the fuck are they even friends? Charlotte is looking at the situation a bit more positive. I mean, if Aiden actually invited Carrie to the grand opening, it means that he probably forgave her. He is probably ready for the two of them to be friends. Carrie is not so convinced though, and she does not want to find out if it's true or not true. Does Aiden actually want to be friends or not at a party? Can you imagine the embarrassment if he actually doesn't want her there? I don't know, Mary, what do you think about this? If you were Carrie, would you go to an opening of a bar that your ex is doing, ex that you hurt? When Carrie is alone, though, she starts thinking, look, when things don't really end, right? When things are left unresolved, they keep coming back into your life until you resolve them, right? And maybe that's what's happening with Aiden. There are still things there that they need to kind of resolve, maybe need a closure. I mean, even the chair that he left in her apartment, she never could really get rid of it. It's almost like there's still something there that the two of them need to address. For those of you who've been watching a couple of my videos, you probably came across also the video on closure, or maybe I just talked about it. I don't know if it was a specific video. The majority of time when someone needs closure, I am suspicious about how much do you actually need closure with that person and how much do you just want to see if it really ended, if things are really done. I see it more as I need a closure, but what I'm actually seeking is to understand if there is still something there, if we can still continue. If you consciously and with certainty decided that you are not good for one another, I would imagine that you don't really need a closure, right? You don't need to talk with this person again. You don't need to understand better because you already understood that whatever it is, whatever is behind, at the end of the day, you didn't manage to actually resolve it. And it's just better that you are separated, right? But when you need a closure, it's usually because you're not really convinced that it actually ended. And when it comes to Carrie and Aiden, well, she's kind of worried if she will forever be haunted by what she did to Aiden, how she treated him.
I'm just afraid the way I treated him is going to haunt me the rest of my life.
She decides to take matters in her control. She's going to do a little pre-pop at the bar before the grand opening. She's gonna go there. She even bought a plant as a gift for Aiden, and she's gonna thank him for inviting her. Also suggesting that they could be friends, like she would never have the courage to do it. What's Aiden thinking? How come he invited me to this party? She doesn't want to get embarrassed at the big opening, so, a little precaution, I guess. Aiden, though, is not there. And though Carrie does not know it, she's lucky he's not there. You see,
Aiden didn't exactly invite you. I did.
Oh, you did?
Honestly, I feel like a bitch, but then luckily this is just a TV show. This was such a funny moment. It reminded me of the time when she slept with a guy and then he was like, I lose interest every time I sleep with a woman.
What about you? What's your problem?
I believe in therapy. This moment is called the breakthrough.
And Steve did not invite Carrie because he wanted Carrie to be there. He invited Carrie because he wanted to make sure Miranda would come. Carrie is not the main character here. And that hurts. I'm not gonna lie. I felt the embarrassment for Carrie. I could feel it through the screen. Like, oh, ay. And Carrie also feels like a dum-dum. Aiden was not extending an olive branch to Carrie. Aiden does not actually want for the two of them to come back together. Oh yeah, Biz, Carrie is 100% trying to get back together with Aiden. That's how I see the whole situation. Like I said, closure my ass. But if you're not convinced yet, you'll be soon. I don't even know why I say that. All of you already watched the series, so... Oh no, you didn't. There are some people who haven't watched it. She hears Aiden in the back calling for Steve. And she's like, bitch, I need to go. She runs out and Steve is kind of yelling after her, no, Carrie, wait, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing though. Carrie might still have feelings for Aiden. And this time when she's at home looking at that chair, she takes away all the junk from it, all the books, everything she piled on that chair, and she sits in it. Not only sits, she kind of leans into the chair. It's like a little piece of him is embracing her. Somehow, Carrie decides that she's gonna go to the grand opening with Miranda and Samantha. They're at the party and Carrie can feel him. Carrie can feel that Aiden is there. First of all, Aiden is far from the California surf beach type of kumbaya. That sounds wrong. Aiden is the younger big.
Is that Aiden? Does he look better or have I just been with a woman for too long?
This reminds me of good boy gone bad type of thing, right? Oh, I got hurt by this lady and now I changed my whole life because she was not worth it. So I need to be a different kind of person because this nice guy type of thing does not give me anything. I'm gonna be a bad bitch. No, he's not a bitch. I'm gonna be a bad boy. Why does everything sound weird? Now, I'm gonna treat her like piece of shit. You want a bad boy? I'm gonna give you a bad boy. The only thing I can say is, I told you so. I told you that Aiden is just playing the nice guy. Because when you're just trying to pretend to be something because it will get you something more, the second you get hurt by it, you are changing your tune. You are changing who you are. So how real was that in the first place? I'm not that stupid, okay? I can see things. Now, if I look at it a little bit psychologically, trying to understand it a little bit better, and just so you know, this is all just I'm trying to come up with shit. You could say that Aiden was cheated on, and because of his own insecurities, which we talked about many times when we looked at the relationship between Carrie and Aiden, actually manifested into him trying to be the person who he was cheated with. Is that grammatically correct? Which again shows that Aiden never really understood why should you be authentic and good to the other person. It's not about what I will get, right? Or how I will be treated. It's about using that to find the right person for yourself, to find the person that will treat you the same way. The problem is that he met Carrie. The problem is that he didn't see from the get-go that Carrie was not the right person for him. Carrie was playing a role that she believed Aiden would want with the smoking, right? Instead of him recognizing that Carrie was not the right person, it could play out that he basically just saw this whole nice guy thing to be stupid, to not work. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what you get when you are basing who you are on what will it get you. We went deep into the substance, how that can be tricky. If you haven't seen it, buckle up. And for a moment, they lock their eyes. They smile at each other. And then, that's it. That's it. Aiden just disappears in the crowd again. And Carrie is confused, which I'm confused. How can she be confused? But she's like, what? That's it? He's not running across the room to say hi to me. He does not even get fazed by all of this.
That's all I get?
Bis, do you remember what you did to him? What exactly are we expecting here? Like, what were the writers trying to do here? Seriously, it's almost like they're trying to portray Carrie as someone who did not actually understand how she hurt Aiden. That on some level, she still thinks that she just made a mistake and Aiden should understand that and he should be focused on the good things that they had, let's say. Like, to me, it's so confusing. Like, what are your theories? Seriously, help me understand this thing. Now Carrie feels that she just wants to go home. She doesn't even know why she came to this party. Carrie, sweetie, I think we all know why you came to this party. You clearly came to see Aiden, to get something from Aiden, to maybe sparkle things between you and Aiden again. Huh? I mean, I don't know about you, but I learned that Carrie does not do things just to be supportive. So there's always some kind of an agenda with her. But then again, maybe it's with all of us. But if we learned anything, we learned that the universe always makes things happen for Carrie. And so do the writers. You see, it's been an hour and she is still at this party. But she wants to sneak out, have a smoke, and eat her cake. She goes out and well. Aiden is outside. Listen to this, people. Are you paying attention? Put that Stelex down, okay? Listen to me. Aiden is outside smoking a cigarette. Guess what? He is smoking a freaking cigarette. People, the way this cracked me up.
You're not seriously smoking it, are you?
You want a bad boy? I'm gonna give you a bad boy. This is so funny and so ridiculous. And again, it's a movie, it's a TV show. Then again, how much we are influenced by that, that's another type of discussion. But I guess we're going with this, the hero turned villain type of story thing. Let's play into it, right? Aiden totally changed because of Carrie. Because how much Carrie hurt him. Now, this might play into Carrie's own self-obsession, I guess. She really did a number on him. I mean, she really must have meant something to Aiden. Or it could be seen as seeing him doing better, seeing him thriving without her, makes her feel like, I should get a piece of that. I mean, at the end of the day, Aiden is now looking like the guy she always chased. So, is this destiny? They start flirting ASAP. This was, oh my God, this was interesting. Carrie drops a fork so she cannot eat the cake. So Aiden grabs the cake and tries to feed it to her. And she's like, oh, you have all your fingers are over it. And then he takes a bite. And then Carrie is like, it's my cake and I want to barf. Okay. I'm like, kill me now. I do not know what is with these scenes where everything just feels so made up and fake. Sure. You got cheated by this person and now suddenly you see them again. You are totally changed. Not only that, but you also flirt with them. You're also like, yes, we are into each other once again. It's a little unbelievable, to be honest. But suddenly the cake is not caking anymore. Now the cake is metaphor because somehow Carrie says that she wants the cake.
Now you want the cake?
I never not wanted it.
Oh, for the love of God. So I guess Aiden is now the cake, right? That's the metaphor. Which makes it very, very interesting that Carrie says, I never not wanted the cake, rather than saying, I always wanted the cake. Huh? What does that mean, Missy? So I see it, actually, which is shocking, as being sincere. You see, if she would say, I always wanted the cake, that is clearly a lie, right? Because if that was the case, then why would she cheated on him? Clearly, she wanted something else. By saying not wanted the cake, it's almost like, I wanted you. I was just, focused on something else, right? Something else took over. Almost like someone would invite you out and then you would not go out because you got caught up watching Netflix. Type of thing. So it's not like you didn't want to go out. It's just something else took the focus away from it. And I do not know about you or about Aiden, but that's a clear sign again that she is coming to Aiden because that other priority, that other man that she actually would want, is not there right now, okay? He's not willing to commit the way Carrie apparently wants to commit. What do you think about this? Aiden now gives Carrie to take a bite from the cake, and Carrie is doing everything but biting into the freaking cake. Like, I get that some people find it sexy, but I do not know what is up with these movies and TV shows that keep on showing this as a sexy thing. It ain't that sexy. But maybe I'm traumatized by how you should eat with your mouth closed. But their tongue in, tongue out, licking lips action gets interrupted because Steve came out to pick up Aiden as they have to make a toast. And as Aiden is leaving or going back in, he turns to Carrie and he says, "I'm glad you came." Carrie is in a little bit of a pickle. Should she call or should she not call? She finally builds up the courage and boom, an answering machine. Aiden is not home. When she's with her girls, they're confused. Why is Carrie even calling Aiden?
I think I want him back.
Miranda is like, Carrie, sweetie, do you miss the older version or the new improved version? So at this point, it's been 6 months since they ended, since they broke up. So there could be a couple of things happening here. Why does Carrie feel like she wants Aiden back? The first thing is that she is obviously idealizing, romanticizing their experience, I guess. More idealizing. She's focusing on everything good they had and how perfect they could be, and kind of neglecting that clearly they were not good for one another if she actually went and cheated on him. The fact that she went with Big while being with Aiden, to me personally, means that the relationship wasn't fulfilling. Was it not fulfilling because of Aiden or because of her own desires, fears, and so on? That's another story, obviously. But at the end of the day, it wasn't it. The second thing is that she might be missing Aiden because her love life and her relationships are not really going anywhere. There was this jazz guy. I didn't do a video on it because whatever. It was a guy obsessed with her and she liked it until she understood that he's not obsessed with her because of her. He's obsessed with her because he has a tendency to get obsessed with things. Her and Big are in just friends era. And in a way, she might be thinking how everything was perfect when she was in a relationship with Aiden, or how everything could be perfect, right? Before Big entered the picture. So it's more about her being back in a relationship rather than actually looking at missing Aiden. Or maybe she just wants that second chance. She wants to prove to herself and to others that she actually can be a good partner. She just made a mistake, she learned from it, and she can show now. It could be more about the guilt she's feeling and trying to prove herself that she's not a bad person, rather than actually missing Aiden. There is also the selfish part driving her, which obviously the guilt part, it's also the selfish part. But maybe she wants to be back with Aiden because of how she felt being with Aiden, because how he made her feel good enough and worthy. So that's what she's actually missing. Not Aiden and the relationship, but how the relationship made her feel good enough. And if we play nice and we give Carrie the benefit of the doubt, she maybe really just grew, right? She learned from her mistakes and she finally understands what it means to have a good relationship and a good partnership. We'll see about that. All in all, I've expressed my opinion multiple times and I still feel that way. I think it is very, very challenging for two people to come back together after the betrayal. You really need to be strong. Both of you really need to be committed to it and also understand what were your roles in it. And it's not only about rebuilding the trust, it's rebuilding the trust, but also fixing what actually went wrong. And I personally am too weak for that shit. The times have changed though, and maybe Carrie cannot reach Aiden on his phone, and maybe it's too soon for her typical grand gesture, but also email is in town.
Mail, motherfucker!
Yes, Biz, you're watching this series and you're literally introduced to the first time email came. While the two of us are using emails to get discounts when you're shopping online, Carrie is gonna use the email to write to Aiden. But she has a little bit of challenges. What should she write? She writes a full paragraph, but she feels like it's too much, so she deletes it. Then she starts writing, I miss you. Do you miss me? And I'm like, Bis what? How can you even ask that? But luckily, also Carrie understands that that's a little bit too much. So she deletes the second part. And she sends to Aiden, I miss you. And the waiting game starts. By the way, Mary, how would you feel if your ex who cheated on you wrote to you, I miss you? Like, and let's say you are actually over them. What would you think? I would be like, okay, and? Like, what the fuck is that? On the other hand, you can see it as Carrie just being direct. She's expressing what she feels. She's not trying to deny the past. She acknowledges that, things happen, but at the same time, she's just sharing that with him. I guess it all depends how Aiden feels about it. It's been, quote, 36 hours since she sent him the email and still no response. What the fuck is happening? Is this email thing even working? She has had it. She's gonna take matters into her own hands. That's what Carrie does. She goes after what she wants. She decides to call Aiden. And when he picks up, she's like,
Hello.
Why won't you respond to my email?
girl boss. She is not gonna obsess why Aiden is not responding to her. She's just gonna confront him immediately. Okay. That's our Carrie, both vulnerable and controlling. Look, on one hand, you can say that that's a typical reaction of someone who wants closure in quotes, whatever that means. Like, really think about when you want closure, what are you actually after? Don't fool yourself. And when the person is not giving it to you, you almost become angry about it. Almost like, I need that. On the other hand, we could say, based on what we know from the internet, okay, from the Professor Google, Carrie might just have a little bit of narcissistic tendencies, right? Even though she's just really sad and misses him and wants him back, if he's not giving that to her, she's gonna push him until she gets what she wants. So when she confronts Aiden like that, the man doesn't even recognize her. He's like, who's this? And Carrie immediately changes her tone. Now she's like, oh, I'm sorry, it's Carrie. Bess, I was just asking if you got my email. Sit your ass down. No, you weren't. What in the gaslighting is this shit? Aiden actually got the email, but Aiden also deleted the email. You see, he has a lot of junk email coming in. So if he doesn't know the address, he just puts it into the trash. By the way, Carrie did not sign the email when she sent it because, she's new to all this technology thing. Hello. Are you okay? The conversation is very awkward. It doesn't get any better from the initial start. Aiden wants to know what Carrie wrote, but she doesn't want to tell him. It doesn't matter. And she actually asked him if he would be okay for the four of them to hang out together. Her, Miranda, him, and Steve. Like the good old times. And Aiden is kind of like, yeah, okay, we can do that. Set it up. Honestly, I was so confused about this exchange because Aiden, through the whole conversation, was giving annoyed. Like, he's over this girl. And then at the end, he agrees to meet up. So there are 3 options of what might be going on here. Option number 1. He doesn't want to reject Carrie because, he's nice. Option number 2. He actually, despite it all, still has some feelings for Carrie. Maybe he himself wants closure. Maybe he, despite not liking her because he's annoyed talking to her, might be like, I want to see where this is going. I want to see what does she actually want. What will come out of this? And option number 3, he is in for revenge. He wants payback, and Carrie is sliding right into it. I mean, Aiden is the new Aiden. Who knows how he treats women, and especially those who hurt him. I'm collecting votes in the comments. Carrie has another problem right now, though. Miranda is not confirming her invite for this group thing. But here's the thing. Miranda does not want to do this group thing. She does not want to go out with Steve. Why would she go out with Steve? Exactly, Mary. Listen and learn. That's a healthy approach to breaking up with someone who things didn't work out. Why would you need to go out with them if you don't want to continue anything with them? She's dating other people, and the last thing she wants is for Steve to get the wrong impression.
Because I don't want him to get the wrong impression. I'm dating other people now?
Yes, and yes, Biz. Especially knowing how Steve invited Carrie so Miranda would show up at his opening. I mean, it's clear that Steve wants to impress Miranda in some way. And it's clear that when you want to impress someone, it's not just because you want to be good friends. And also, Steve already proved how he is not the let's be just friends type, though he's claiming to be. Oh, no. That's just his way to sneak in back there. I don't like Steve. But Carrie is not asking Miranda to go out with Steve. She is just asking for Miranda to be her airbag, and Steve is gonna be Aiden's airbag in case there is a crash. Okay, Miranda's gonna do it, but Steve needs to be aware of that. Steve needs to be aware that they are just airbags for Carrie and Aiden, and there will be no shenanigans of the two of them getting back together or being friends or whatever. She tried that, and it ain't working. They finally meet up, and Carrie is on fire. She's on the type of fire people want to put down. She's talking a little much, a little too anxious, a little nervous. That's how the vibe is vibing. You know, to be honest, I kind of sympathize with Carrie right now. Not like a week ago, it happened that I couldn't stop blabbing, because a part of me felt nervous for whatever reason. And I just continued talking. And then I recognized that what I'm saying is stupid. And then I wanted to backtrack with the stupid thing and then the person literally looked at me and she said, "It's okay." Biz. That was awkward. I mean, and I wish it wouldn't happen as often as it does. Sometimes you just don't know how to stop. Steve is laughing at what Carrie is saying. Miranda kind of goes with it. But Aiden recognizes that something is, a bit off. And he puts his hand on Carrie's hand, almost like wanting to reassure her, to calm the bitch down. But Carrie, you know that this is a sign. You know that this meant something. Okay? Aiden and Steve go to the bathroom, and so Miranda and Carrie are left alone. And the first thing Carrie does is turn to Miranda and say, "Okay, now you can go." And Miranda is like, what do you mean I can go now? Can't I even finish my food? And Carrie is like, no. I think we are good. You can go now. Because if you stay, then it's gonna, we're gonna be all together till the end. We're gonna have to do the whole sharing a cab thing. And, me and Aiden won't have any time alone. So, shoot.
Yeah, okay.
And can you take Steve with you?
Carrie is such a good friend. I mean, she would never, ever use you to get what she wants, okay? She's not like that. Miranda clearly does not want to give any impression to Steve. So how will she do this thing? How will she say, "Steve, let's go," for Steve not to think something? Steve is baboon. Hello, what did you bring it to me? She manages though. Carrie and Aiden are left alone, but Miranda also shares later on how Steve tried to kiss her. Steve just wants to be friends, always. We see Carrie and Aiden walking down the street.
I think I want to get back together.
Oh, fuck,
What now? Yes, Biz. Carrie immediately attacks Aiden. That hand touch? Aiden feels uncomfortable. And he actually shares that he was afraid that Carrie might say something like that. He just said yes to go out together because he wants to be nice. But at the end of the day, the whole relationship thing, he doesn't want to do that again. Carrie is confused. She's a bit shooked. What do you mean? You gave me the sign. Aiden is like, "Bitch, what sign?" He's not saying that, but he's like, "What do you mean sign?" And she's like, "You touched my hand. Like that was a sign." And he's like, "Carrie, sweetie, I just wanted to calm you down because you seemed a little bit anxious, okay? You were too excited about what were you actually saying. So I figured you're nervous and you just need someone to give you that, ease, that comfort."
You just seem so nervous telling that bug story.
Oh.
Carrie is embarrassed. The sign wasn't signing. And it also shows or screams about Carrie's mindset. I mean, she went into this clearly wanting to get back together with Aiden. She is grasping to get any indication that they could be back together. She doesn't approach with talking to him. She doesn't even acknowledge that let's maybe have a conversation about what happened, where are you right now, how do I feel, and all of these things. No, she's just looking how she could spot that little sign that will give her the okay to go after Aiden again. It's very immature, it's very delusional, it's very self-centered. It's like she just wants to forget what happened and let's be back together, right? Right. But then things turn into even more, what the fuck is going on here? You see, she feels awkward and she's like, okay, good night. And as she's passing by him, he awkwardly kisses her on half of her lip and kind of puts his arm around her. And now I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Now you might say, oh, he just maybe wanted to say or give a kiss goodbye. But I didn't know that they were in Italy. I didn't know they were Italian or even Serbian, Balkans. Like they do actually kiss to say, bye, ciao, ciao, right? It's a very, I lived in Italy for 5 years and that's common. When you meet someone, you kiss. And when you leave, like when you say goodbye, you also kiss. That's like a part of the culture. Aiden trying to just kiss Carrie to say goodbye, I don't buy it. So clearly he is also kind of struggling with how does he feel about the whole situation. It could also be that a part of him, when he saw how Carrie thought that was a sign, he almost felt bad about it, and then he just wanted to comfort her in a way and kiss her because he's dealing with his own emotions in some way. I don't know. It was very sus. Or maybe it's the evil Aiden and he is just trying to get Carrie to be friends with benefits. Carrie is back at home and she tries to figure out what the hell is happening with Aiden. What is up with these mixed signals? She's trying to reach Miranda via email because that's the new thing now.
Hey, I was just about to call you.
She was iMessaging with a guy she's dating. Wow. They talk on the phone and at one point, ding, Aiden is online. Carrie freaks out. Oh my God, can he see me? And she ducks down.
No, just step away from the computer.
This was such a funny scene, but also who hasn't done that? Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I even do that sometimes today. Okay, if I know my computer is on and I'm just exiting from the shower or something and entering the room, like I feel like I need to hide because God knows who might be reaching through my computer and seeing what they should not see. Yes, I'm an adult. But this fires up our Carrie. That's it. She's just gonna go there. She's just gonna go to Aiden. Miranda is confused. What do you mean you're just gonna go to him?
His word said no, but his kiss said yes.
I know if I go there, he won't be able to reject me. Excuse me, what?
That's the defense invoked by date rapists.
If Carrie talks with Aiden through the computer, he's gonna say no. But if she is there, if he actually sees her, then his true emotions will guide him and he will not be able to reject her. Carrie is a very healthy individual. She's a helpful person. Instead of recognizing that you shouldn't cross boundaries or that someone has difficulties keeping their boundaries, you should help them cross it. Miranda is skeptical, but Carrie is already out the door. She knows that Aiden still feels it. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It is clear that Carrie is focusing on him potentially still having feelings for her rather than what he is actually telling her. She fails to realize, though, that is exactly what I might even say abusive people do, toxic people do, when they play on your emotions because they know they can. If you express to them that you actually don't want to do this, but you show that you're struggling with your emotions, they're not going to be like, look, let me respect their wishes, let me respect their boundaries. I mean, I've heard them before. Let's give them time, for example, right? Carrie could say she would give Aiden time in some way. No, these kind of people, and in this case, Carrie, focuses on the weakness. She focuses on his emotions being a weakness that could let her get in, that would let her get closer. Now, here's the thing. you can say that she is selfish, she just wants what she wants. But on the other hand, I see that Carrie truly believes that. Carrie believes that the two of them should be together, because how Carrie is seeing the situation and how everything went down is that it was her fault, right? She wasn't thinking straight. She got manipulated or played by Big. And at the end of the day, if she did the right thing, the two of them would still be together. Yes, Aiden has some doubts, but it's because he thinks that she would do something like that to him again. But she knows that she wouldn't. She knows that he can't trust her. So now she just needs to, speed the process up. So despite Carrie thinking and seeing how she's helpful, and she's just helping Aiden to see better, to see how they should be together, it's not. At the end of the day, it's crossing Aiden's boundaries, and it is also using Aiden's emotions and Aiden's own confusion of what he feels towards Carrie to make it even more difficult for him to say no. And however you want to put it and understand it, there's one thing that is clear as fuck. Carrie's actions are red flag. I don't know. Just imagine you having a moment of weakness with your emotions and people or the other person literally just using that to their advantage, using that to convince you to be with them again. Does that really say that that person cares about you? Does that really say that they actually changed and they respect you and they want you as a partner? The fuck it does. You could even say that Carrie is basically focused on her personal redemption, let's say, right? For her to prove herself that she can be good and what she did to Aiden wouldn't haunt her anymore, rather than wanting for the two of them to recover, let's say, and get back together. Carrie is standing in front of Aiden's apartment and she's throwing pebbles at the window. And she also reflects, this would be such a romantic gesture if I was a man, but because I'm a woman, people will think I'm crazy. Now, I was a little bit like, Biz, you did not just try to do that. The writers, I mean. The show in general. Carrie wants to create this idea that her actions are only considered wrong because she is a woman. She goes into this man versus woman type of thing, which, often works. As soon as you put the two against one another, people are like, holding on to it. I myself might do things like that. Probably did things like that. But at the end of the day, it's not about if a man does that or a woman does that. It's about what is actually happening. It's another way of manipulating someone. It's another way of playing on you see, I did also this for you. I care so much for you. No, Biz, you just came unannounced to my door. That's it. If you were so into me, then you would respect me. You would try to maybe talk with me, maybe see how we can easily develop and see if we are okay with one another. You wouldn't just do these things where you would make me feel a certain way so I could say yes again. It's bullshit. And it feels that Carrie often is presented as someone who everything she does would be okay if she was a man, but just because she's a woman, now things are different. If you think about it, also the whole cheating thing, right? It might be that the show is actually provoking this idea of how, when a man cheats, then we are more acceptable to forgive, I guess, or at least movies and TV shows show it how then the man regrets it and he realizes that he really loved his partner and blah, 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 right? And he does a grand gesture and then everything is okay, I guess. But then when Carrie does it, like we're all looking at it and thinking, oh my God, this is so wrong and so on. Someone could actually say, no, she's doing exactly what men would do and men get a pass. So maybe not even intentionally, the show is showing the potential hypocrisy that we have, that we hold when it comes to cheating. And hopefully, by this day and age, we all understand that it's fucked up no matter who does it. It ain't right. Period. I will say, though, it is also a clever way how Carrie, the character of Carrie, might be manipulating us, the audience, the viewers. Because when she says things like, oh, if men would do this, how many of us are looking at it and say, oh yeah, that's true. Best. She good. And just to be clear, my personal opinion, when it comes to grand gestures or surprises or things like that, Yes, welcomed when things are going well, right? Then it's just an extra thing that someone did and it's nice, right? But when it's used to overcome a fight, let's say, or influence the person in some way, then that's exactly what you are doing. You are using this grand gesture to already position yourself as the good person, as someone who really loves that person. And that's all fine and okay, but it is a bit manipulative. Like, why can't you just have a normal conversation with that person and figure shit out? Why do you need to already create something that will make sure that from the get-go you are seen as, let's say, a good man or a good woman? When you do it, then it's just misleading. Carrie shares with Aiden that she believes that there's still something between the two of them. And Aiden doesn't really agree. Like, yes, it was nice seeing her again and going out together, but he wants to leave it at that.
Can I come up and talk to you for a few minutes?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Because of what might happen?
Carrie is persistent and she's trying all her tricks to get Aiden to let down his guards and let her in. Okay? Because she knows that's the right thing. People, I'm not making this shit up. It's the writers. And I genuinely hope no one ever experienced something like that in real life. And if you did, run, bitch, run. Oh, by the way, someone in the comments actually asked me, how do I feel about Carrie now? And if it wasn't clear so far, me no likey. Carrie in season 3 and now in season 4 is like, who the fuck is this? Now, there is one thing that I want to add here. You can be manipulative and you also can be manipulated, right? Just because Carrie is treating Aiden badly does not mean that Big is not treating Carrie badly. Both things can be true. She's being manipulated by Big and she is manipulating Aiden. I became so hungry. I made this banana bread. Very moist, very delicious. Aiden is struggling and honestly, it looks like he doesn't know how to tell her to piss off. But Carrie pleads her case. She gets it. She understands that Aiden is probably scared. He is scared that she would do that to him again. But this is different now. She is different. She wants to prove to Aiden that she is different. And she goes through her purse and she grabs... Listen to this, Mary. She grabs a pack of cigarettes.
Gone.
Excuse me, what? Excuse me, what in the fuck is going on here? But let's go step by step. Step number 1. What the hell is with this? Trust me because I know I've changed. So you should give me that trust. You might have changed, but that doesn't mean that I need to automatically trust you. Especially if you broke that trust in the past. You need to show me, okay? On a regular basis, consistency, that I can actually trust you again. Carrie being like, trust me, I've changed, this is different, is idiotic. Honestly, it's very stupid. Then, like I said before, if Carrie would actually change, right? If she's really a different person, she wouldn't do what she did. And if we say that, she's focused on actions by Aiden, right? Rather than what he is saying. Well, if Aiden would be focused on Carrie's actions rather than what she's saying, then her actions are showing that she hasn't changed. I mean, especially with the gesture with the cigarettes, it's almost like it's actually in a very smart way showing the whole cycle, right? How they are back at the beginning and how Carrie is again trying to convince Aiden that she's a different person and that all of this is, she changed and she likes him and she's willing to do everything for him the same way she did the first time they met. Basically indicating that nothing actually changed. Carrie is still the same and Carrie is still focused on what she will get from it. Now, I want to say one thing. Despite Carrie pissing us off left and right, I really I started to appreciate her being shown this way. The protagonist being the one who does all of these things. She's actually showing you how it is not okay. How it's not that she changed. How it's not about how much this person loves you and so on. But it's actually all driven from a very selfish point. I wonder if Carrie wasn't the one who was showing this, if we would actually see it as being wrong. Right? I don't know, it's just something that I started noticing lately when I'm analyzing this show. It's almost a clever way to really see how fucked up these things are. She goes on a rant about how she's done with all the bad habits because she misses him. And not only because he looks so good, and he does, he should know that, but also because she lays late at night in her bed and she misses him.
Think about us, and I think about you holding me, and
You broke my heart!
I have to say that it felt a bit weird how the actor decided to shout this confession. It wasn't giving. It was dying. Carrie is shooked. She did not expect Aiden to say that. And she feels so hurt by it and so surprised by it that she just turns around and runs away. It didn't work. She couldn't convince Aiden to get back with her. Or did it? Carrie is lying in her bed and she feels bad about everything that happened. But what's that? What does she hear? Pebbles on a window? Aiden is standing in front of her apartment. They're looking at each other and there are no words needed. They just run Carrie towards the door and Aiden into the building. They make sweet, sweet, passionate love, and I guess they are back together. Are they though? The deed is done. And Aiden is getting dressed. Honestly, Aiden seems like he's not a bit reluctant. He's not the happiest what went down. Clearly, it's not what you wanted, okay? You've been manipulated in doing what you did. That's how I see it.
You want to do this to make up for the past? I'm fine now.
And no, that's not what Carrie wanted. Carrie, she loves him. Sure, Carrie, I doubt that. I think you are in love. I mean, the character is in love in how the relationship with Aiden made her feel, rather than who Aiden is. Okay. Carrie wishes that she could be his girlfriend again. And Aiden kisses her on the forehead and says that he needs to think about it. So will the two lost souls come back together and we will finally see a happy ending for Miss Carrie Bradshaw? Of course not. But whose fault is gonna be this time? Carrie or the new Aiden? We still have to get to know who the new version of Aiden actually is. But remember, trust your individuality.